Hey! Victory is mine. Alrighty. That is, I gotta make sure I get this right, Ratchet and Clank Future, A Crack in Time. Conquered. Mwah. Alright. I didn't write down my thoughts for this one because I figured I would beat it pretty quickly, and usually I write my thoughts on the starting day 3 or afterwards, something like that, and today's day 4. But anyways, let's see if I can go down the list. My overall thoughts. Actually, before I give my overall thoughts, I should reiterate that this was a viewer requested game by Epic Otter, so I want to say thank you, Epic Otter, for the request. And if you have a viewer requested game that you would like to see me play, just stop by in the chat, spend some channel points. Maybe if you're on the YouTube side, just put a comment on the video, and see what we can do. But with that said, my overall thoughts for this game, I liked it, I enjoyed it, I had fun with it, but I'm not really a platformer person. If you've paid attention to all the games that I've played, platformers are incredibly rare. I've played a couple, and usually by the time I get to the end of them, I have a similar take. My take is typically the same. I enjoy many aspects of it, but platformers are just not really my style of game. I struggle with them quite a bit. And this game is like a platformer shooter in some ways, like a 3D shooter or a third-person shooter platformer. So it even takes in aspects that I'm even worse at than platformers, and incorporates it in here. So definitely struggled with this one as far as like the gameplay and the mechanics and whatnot. But I do think it is an important takeaway to say that while these are not really my games, and if this was never recommended to me, I would probably never play it on my own. I did enjoy playing it, and I don't regret playing it. I think it was a fun experience, and I enjoyed it for what it was. When it comes to like the aspects of the game in particular, I'm not really a fan of the story. It's very difficult for me to actually latch on to stories or games that are built around like humor and whatnot. There's been a couple of examples where it has worked for me, but this one didn't really work for me. It's more like rated E. It feels like rated E, humor. This is a Saturday morning cartoon type humor, which it was great when I was younger, but nowadays, I've grown up and that humor does not necessarily appeal to me anymore. So that was a little bit of a detriment. I definitely appreciate and enjoy serious stories and takeaways and things like that. But if they were going to take a more comedic approach, I would have. It would have had to be a more grown-up take to it. Maybe some grown-up jokes or a little bit less childish. I'm not saying childish in a negative way, just like in the terms of an age range. You know, advance it a few years. Maybe even go into teenager. I don't know. What are the teenagers laughing at about nowadays? Probably just being angry on Twitter. Ah. For the gameplay, as I mentioned, you know, I'm definitely struggling. I think the gameplay is pretty solid. I don't really have any significant complaints with it. There's been some combinations of inputs and whatnot that I've been trying to utilize that just doesn't work. You know, like rocket boosting and shooting. You know, maybe I'm just not good at, you know, these types of games, and that's the takeaway that should be had. But there were a couple of control combinations that weren't very pleasing to me. I think switching weapons was okay, but I struggled there a little bit. I kind of wish. You know what? I couldn't have done. I kind of wish that in addition to the quick wheel, you could assign quick weapon. So instead of the D-pad being like the rocket boots and, you know, what have you, maybe assign those in a different way. I don't know how you're supposed to do this, but I would have liked there to be a way where I had 4 weapons that I could quickly access without going into the circle menu thing, and that way it doesn't like interrupt the flow of the battle. When I run out of ammo, I could just press that button and I switch to the next weapon, you know, instantaneously, rather than going into the wheel. You know, time slows down or what have you. You know, try to figure out which weapon I want to go or where my weapon is, or if I had more weapons, cycling through all the pages and things like that. I would have liked that more, but I do understand that there's the rocket boots, there's the little swing thing, which I don't think needed to be there. There's the little water thing, and man, what was the last one? I don't remember what the last one was. Oh yeah, the time bombs, which I never used. So yeah, I get it. When it comes to sound and music, I didn't really pay much attention to the music. It kind of, from off the top of my head, it just kind of sounded like, you know, orchestra, you know, bombastic, you know, and you know, this was fine. It's not really what I want to listen to outside of a game, but in games, it works out pretty well. And I guess if the developer is watching, I would definitely say that my comments towards this game have really no reflection on the quality of the games or anything like that. I think the Ratchet and Clank games are pretty excellent and are enjoyed by many.
Hello? Celebrity in need of assistance. What's that, Snowball? Little Jimmy fell down a well? Oh, you're hungry for blood. Oh, I was way off. Let me just... Oh, boy, this is bad. Little help here. Ratchet, Clank, Helga, anyone? Nice, Snowball. Down, Snowball. Hey, easy on the goods.
So yeah, like there's plenty of people out there that enjoy the Ratchet and Clank games. I'm just not the target audience. It's not my style of game. I can enjoy the games, but I'm never gonna go out of my way to play them or to pick them for myself.
Your path is far from over, for you see, the most horrifying truth is yet to be revealed. My dear Lombax, I am your father's accountant. Did that do it? Did that sufficiently blow your mind? Let that just roll around for a bit. Oh, now, come, find me in the Corvus sector, and let us end what we began. Vorsalon out.
You go do that. Anyways, that should wrap up my, oh, you gotta collect all 40 Zoni to do that? Oh, goodness. Create a new save. Do that. Anyways, that's gonna wrap up my thoughts for Ratchet and Clank Future, A Crack in Time. Once again, thank you to Epic Otter for the viewer recommendation. And that's gonna wrap it up for me for today.
Have I ever told you about my son?
Thanks for watching, appreciate it. I'm out.
Smart.
Peace.
He was born